time to meet the men from the Ministry. Let's take another canter down the corridors of power with Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In the General Assistance Department, those eager executives, Lennox, Brown and Lamb, help any ministry that's overloaded. These are men who just can't do enough for the nation, so sometimes they don't even try.
Your morning mail, Mr. Lennox Brown. Shall I put it in the usual place?
No, Mildred, the wastepaper basket's full. Give it, Mr. Lamb.
Looks like more stuff from the Department of the Environment.
Funny lot they are. I suppose they'd have to be with a long name like that. What do they do, anyway?
It's what used to be called the misery of work.
They also run London's parks, Mildred, and they've asked us to help in improving them, you see.
Well, they could do with improving and all. Our park was so blooming crowded last summer, my boyfriend and I could never find room to lie down.
I say, they've written to thank us for our statue proposal. You remember we suggested a statue of the Prime Minister in Regent's Park?
Oh, yes. What did they say?
They say a statue of the Prime Minister should be a great asset. It would give shelter from the rain, shade from the sun, and the pigeons a chance to speak for us all. Well, you could answer this. I'm still trying to balance the park people's books.
Why don't you use a pocket calculator? That would halve the work.
Would it? Oh, so if we got two, there'd be no work at all.
Get Whither Wilkins next door to help you. He's really on the ball.
They say he has a brilliant brain.
Well, talk of here he is. Hello, Mr. Wilkins.
Hello, oh dear, I forget my own name in a minute.
Mildred.
No, it's not Mildred, it's Wilkins, that's right.
Mr. Wilkins, have you a pocket calculator?
A pocket calculator? Oh, no, I've never needed one. I've always known how many pockets I had.
I'm checking the books for the Parks Department, and I can't get the figures right.
Oh, dear me. Well, why don't you do as I do?
You mean walk round the office in my cardigan and slippers?
Yes, no. For checking figures, use an old felt pen.
An old felt pen?
Yes, one that's all, frayed and smudgy.
How does that help?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? No one can make out what figures you've written, so you can't be proved wrong and everyone's happy.
What a brilliant idea.
What about you, Mr. Lennox Brown? Are you still improving the parks?
Oh, yes. I've told them to put more ducks in the lakes and some peacocks in the rose garden.
There's already lots of larks in the bushes. It was a joke, you see.
Was it?
Yes, Sir Gregory.
Now then, you people. Good morning, Sir Gregory.
Good morning, Sir Gregory.
Good morning, Sir Gregory.
Good morning, Sir... what was his name again?
Mr. Lennox Brown, I have a job for you, and it's top priority.
I am at the ready, sir.
There's an old tree in Regent's Park, a rather special tree.
Larks in the bushes. It's an old chestnut tree.
Quite right, Wilkins. It's an old chestnut tree.
Indeed, sir.
Yes, it said that Charles II chased Nell Gwynn across the green there.
Trying to get his hands on her oranges, I suppose.
Possibly, yes. But he tripped over one of his spaniels, and while his attention was distracted, she playfully climbed this tree and hid.
Oh, very jolly, sir.
Not entirely.
No?
Failing to find her, the king returned to the palace, and she, unable to get down, was trapped up the tree for a week.
Well, how did she get out, sir?
Well, she was spotted by Samuel Pepys, who'd been surprised to see an orange fall from a chestnut tree. Well, now, next month sees the 300th anniversary of this event, and the Lord Mayor will affix a plaque to the tree at a special ceremony.
Oh, a great tourist attraction, sir.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're to make arrangements for the occasion, seating, parking, etc.
Yes, leave it to me, sir. Lamb will take care of everything.
No, Lennox Brown. You'll deal with this.
Oh.
Lamb must press on with the park finances.
Yes, sir.
His job is to see the parks make money, and I've every confidence he'll find ways to do it.
Thank you, sir.
Because if he doesn't, I'll have his ears for ashtrays.
Oh, dear, I'd better go down to Regent's Park and try and get some ideas.
Perhaps Mr. Good can help. You know, the park supervisor. I'll ring and say you're coming.
Hello, Mr. Good. I said hello, Mr. Good.
I heard you the first time, lad. Don't keep repeating yourself.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Good.
I'm trying to pick a site for the new building.
A new building?
We've got to put up a new gents' washroom.
Oh, that'll be a great convenience.
That'll do, lad. There's a ministry man coming here this afternoon. In fact, that looks like him now.
Oh, yes, the one who just fell in the flower bed. I said in the flower bed.
Good afternoon. I'm Richard Lamb from the General Assistance Department.
Howdo. I'm Good, park supervisor.
And I'm Mr. Gold. I work here. I said I work here.
I'm a bit worried about those pansies over there.
Oh, aye, they wander across from the open-air theatre. They're quite harmless.
We've met before, haven't we? Didn't you work in Hyde Park?
Aye, we were in Hyde Park last year, but we got transferred after that nasty business with the bishop and the goose.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, now, we have to find new ways for the park to make money. Have you any ideas?
Well, what about more park entertainments?
That's a thought. Morris dancing, perhaps. Have you ever seen Morris dancing?
Only when he dropped the spade on his foot.
Shut up, lad. He thinks he's David Frost. No, that's a good ways, Mr. Lamb. Displays of Morris dancing. There's nothing like it.
We could charge 20p to watch for an hour, or 50p for half an hour.
Maybe we could sell park souvenirs to the tourists like they do in the holiday resorts.
Souvenirs? Yes, we could offer ashtrays and serviette rings made of local wood.
What about Regent's Park pixies? I said, what about Regent's Park pixies?
Why not? You could model for them, Mr. Gold. We need plenty of wood. I know. You could chop down those old willow trees over the island.
Oh, no, we can't touch the island. There's an unusual bird come to nest there.
He's right, Mr. Lamb. Some rare bird was spotted there yesterday, and the top brass don't want it disturbed.
Oh, then use that tree over there. That looks old and decrepit.
If you say so, Mr. Lamb. And that'll clear a space for the new gents' washroom.
Splendid. I'll find a woodworking firm to make the souvenirs.
And why don't we put up the charge for rowing on the lake? Say, £1 an hour per rowing boat.
Or £2 if they want a couple of oars. I said a couple of oars.
That reminds me, you'd best get some of them in to pass the time.
Come in, number 91. Your time's up.
Don't be daft. We haven't got 91.
Oh, number 16, are you in some trouble?
I'm afraid they're not in, Mr. Wilkins.
Oh, I see. Well, then I dare say they're out.
Yes, that's right. Mr. L.B.'s at the Department of the Environment for a big meeting about London's wildlife. They're holding a symposium.
Well, I hope when they've finished, they'll let the poor thing go free again.
And Mr. Lamb's gone to collect some sample souvenirs. They're selling them to help Park Funds.
Oh, it's all go, isn't it?
Stand by, Mildred. We've got a lot to do this afternoon.
Righty-ho, Mr. Lennox Brown.
Yes, the environment people are very excited. A great bustard is nesting on the island in Regent's Park Lane.
Ooh.
It's a very rare bird, and we have to see that it's not disturbed. It's the first time it's nested in this country for over 100 years.
Oh, so it's settling down in its old age.
What do we have to do, sir?
Well, I've decided the best plan is to rope off the whole island so vandals can't get near the place.
Oh, that'll take a lot of string, sir.
Oh, we're determined to spare no expense. I mean, after all, it's only public money.
Well, I'll see if I can get some string from stationery, if you like.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Mr. Wilson.
No, not at all. Miss Hadwell of stationery rather fancies me, you know. I think she's attracted by my nimble brain.
Well, she can't be attracted by his nimble body.
Now, don't make fun of Whizzer Wilkins, Mildred. He's all get up and go.
I'd have thought most of it had got up and went.
I just got back from the park, Mum. Those souvenirs are selling like hotcakes.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Look, I brought some samples.
Oh, yes?
Pixies, serviette rings, table mats, all made of genuine tree wood.
And they've all got dodging both sides. What did he say on that pixie?
He says, welcome to Regent's Park on the front side, and I'll give you a hand on the back side.
Yes, very quaint, too, yes. But we have a more pressing problem, you see. Yes. Now, we've got to do something about the great bustard.
Sir Gregory, has he been here again?
No. The great bustard. A strange creature with a huge beak and staring eyes.
That's right, Sir Gregory.
Two. Yes. Listen, the great bustard is a very rare bird.
Oh.
One of them's nesting on the island in Regent's Park Lake. Now, we've been asked to protect it.
Oh, I see. Where is Sir Gregory, then?
Well, he's been and gone and went to that ceremony in the park.
The Lord Mayor's fixing a plaque on Nell Gwyn's tree.
Oh, yes, I remember someone mentioning that.
Now then, you two.
We too, sir?
Of course you two.
Yes.
I've just come back from Regent's Park.
Ah, did the ceremony go well, sir?
It was a fiasco, man. A shambles. A total disaster.
Apart from that, was it all right, sir?
The Lord Mayor arrived to affix the plaque, only to find that the tree had been chopped down.
Good grief. And what did the Lord Mayor do with his plaque?
There was only one thing he could do with it.
Dear me.
He fixed it to the structure that had replaced the tree. Imagine a plaque saying, Nell Gwyn was trapped here for a week. Who had that tree chopped down, I want to know?
Oh, dear. Was it that big wooden chestnut tree near the lake?
Yes.
With the hollow trunk and enormous branches?
Yes. What do you know about this?
Nothing, Sir Gregory. I've never seen it.
What?
Oh, very well, sir. I cannot tell a lie. I had the tree chopped down.
Let me get my hands on you, lamb, I say.
There's no need for violence, Sir Gregory. Have one of these lucky pixies.
Pixies?
That's what the wood was used for, you see.
Ah!
Oh, by Jove, he's bitten the pixie's head off.
Better that than Mr. Lamb.
I'll deal with you later, lamb. I haven't the strength left to kick you downstairs.
Thank you very much, sir.
Souvenirs. Oh, what a stupid idea. Get rid of the lot.
Yes, sir.
I'm told, Lennox Brown, that this office has to protect the great bastard.
That is true, sir, yes.
Well, if there's any mishap on that job, anything at all, I'll have your heads for bookends, incompetent, blundering fools!
I'd better cancel those souvenir orders. Mildred, take a note to Woody Wood Woodworks, would you? Say we've decided this can't go on. We made a mistake. We'll pay the price in full.
Pay the price in full?
Yes.
I've written that down, sir. I'll type it later.
Oh, in the circumstances, string is not enough. We can't afford to slip up on this one. No. We'll close the park completely.
Oh,
Yes, I'll sign an order at once. Regent's Park will be closed to public and staff till I give the order to reopen it. And I shan't do that till the wretched bird's hatched all its eggs.
I don't see why we had to come here at this time of the day. It's 5 o'clock. I should be home now.
I had to see my orders had been carried out.
well, they certainly have, sir. The park's sort of weird with no one in it. Can't we leave now?
As soon as we've checked the island over, we have to be sure the bird is all right. Well, personally, I find the lake rather pleasant.
That's because you're not rowing.
Anyway, here we are. Right, now, jump ashore, Mildred, will you? After you.
Thanks, sir.
Come along, too. Tie the boat to a tree trunk, will you? Don't take all evening.
I can't rush it, one, or the rope will get knotted.
The rope will what?
Get knotted.
That will do, too. This island's very overgrown, isn't it, Mildred? No paths in sight.
It's blooming spooky and all. It's like the jungle in Malaria or somewhere.
The boat's secure, one. Are we going to look at the nest?
Well, if we can find a way through this undergrowth, you'd better go first, too, and hack a path with your umbrella. Mildred, you can bring up the rear, carrying our briefcases on your head. Safari fashion.
Yes, Buana.
Right, keep going, too. You can take your jacket off if you have to. And stop complaining.
I didn't say anything.
What?
Oh, here, look, sir. In that big nest there. That must be the bustard.
By Jove, you're right. Oh, what an ugly-looking brute.
Oh, dear, now you've upset it.
Here, let's have a closer look. I have a way with creatures of the wild. Look, it's smiling at me.
Oh, blimey, it's bitten his nose.
What a vicious bastard.
Well, it seems quite able to look after itself. Yes, well, let's go before it gets dark.
Yeah, let's get back to the beach.
Right.
Here, Mr. Lamb, where did you tie up the boat?
Over there, Mildred.
Well, it's not there now. It's gone.
Oh, good grief, too. Do you see what you've done?
Well, you told me to tie it to a tree trunk, and I did.
I meant one that was still in the ground, not a branch that was lying on the shore.
And it was quite a big branch one.
Oh, yes, yeah, I can see it, floating along in front of the boat.
Well, where, sir?
But there, right out in the middle of the lake, there. Oh, Mildred.
We're marooned.
Oh, it's all right, Mildred. We'll call for help. One of the park keepers will hear us.
But don't be daft, too. We've cleared the park. All the keepers are outside, keeping the public away.
Well, couldn't one of you swim out and fetch the boat?
I can't swim, Mildred. The result of an old war wound, you know. Two, you're the only one who can. Swim over and get the boat.
I can't, one. I saw that film Jaws, and I've been terrified ever since. I even have to shut my eyes going over Westminster Bridge.
But it's only 100 yards, for heaven's sake.
This water's so dark and deep and murky, and I'm sorry, I can't do it.
All right. Then we're trapped here till morning, aren't we?
Blimey, I can't stay here all night.
We've no alternative, have we?
What happens in the morning, one? There'll still be no one in the park.
Well, we'll light a bonfire. Someone outside the park will see the smoke. Now, you and Mildred had better build a rude shelter.
What for, sir?
Well, for me to sleep in, of course. I have to keep myself fresh to lead us all to safety.
Yeah, but, sir, what
You
about...
and Mr. Lamb will be keeping watch. And don't worry. We'll be off this island in no time. Come tomorrow, they'll miss us at the office.
It's extraordinary, Wilkins. Lennox Brown and his crew haven't been in for 4 days.
Well, perhaps they're sitting in the canteen, sir.
Canteen? They've been away 4 days, man.
Oh, the service there gets slower and slower.
My bet is they've all walked out in a huff.
Huff?
Huff!
Oh, huff, yes. Oh, bless my soul, how awful.
Awful? It's wonderful. Without those nitwits around, life here can be quite enjoyable. And you realize if they stay away for 21 days, they rate as absent without leave? That means I can sack them.
Mr. Gregory, that vein in your forehead's twitching again.
If they're not back by Monday, I'll destroy all their files and documents, all their papers, all the records of their absurd blunders over the years. I'll paper over their office door. No one need know they ever existed.
Do you realize we've been here for 3 weeks?
Is it only 3 weeks? Seems like 6 months to me.
It's 3 weeks exactly. I carved the rude calendar on this tree, and I've been ticking off the days.
Oh, I'm starving, Mr. Lamb. Is there any more of that wildfowl left?
No, Mr. Lennox Brown just finished the parson's nose. Well, I suppose he was entitled to. If he hadn't caught it, we'd be dead by now.
If you ask me, Mr. Elby's enjoying himself. I mean, building a stockade, ordering us about. Any minute now he'll call you Man Friday. Why did he commandeer your braces?
He tied them to a branch to make a rude bow, and he's using his brolly as an arrow. He's going to shoot a few ducks.
He'll be lucky they've all swum away, haven't they?
No, look. He's after one now. See? He's creeping down to the beach.
Oh, well, never mind. Food isn't everything. Now, attention, you two. It's time to hoist the flag. Start of a new day.
It isn't a flag, it's my shirt, and I'm cold.
Cold? Well, how can you be cold? You've a strong grass skirt like the rest of us.
Well, it may be strong, but there are nettles in mine.
I wish you hadn't burnt all our clothes that first day, sir.
Well, I had to, didn't I? The leaves and the twigs were too wet to burn. And if someone had seen that bonfire, we'd have been rescued.
Yes, pity you lit it just as it started to rain.
Well, I've not made many mistakes, have I? I mean, I've kept us all alive. It was I who thought of collecting rainwater in our bowler hats. I've kept my wits about me. Oh, my word, yes.
Oh, so have I. It was me that spotted that footprint on the beach and followed the track round the island.
Yeah, and after you've been round 4 times, you realise the footprint was your own.
Listen, bickering will get us nowhere. The important thing is to keep active. Now, I'm off to write my journal. When I get back to civilization, I'll sell it to the staff magazine, make a fortune.
We'll never get back to civilization. The park will stay closed till we give the word, and we can't give the word because we're trapped in the park. We're doomed, Mildred. And I'm too young to die.
Oh, no, you're not, Mr. Lamb, isn't it?
I had a glittering career ahead of me, and now I have to end my days in this island.
Oh, I wonder what's happening back in the dear old office.
Good Lord, Wilkins. You found this note on Lamb's desk?
Yes, sir, under his Regent's Park pixie.
What? Oh, that misguided souvenir thing. Read the note again.
We've decided this can't go on. We made a mistake. We'll pay the price in full.
Good grief, that can mean only one thing. They took their responsibilities more seriously than I thought. They've taken their own lives.
No wonder we haven't seen them for 6 weeks.
This is tragic. Tragic. The PM will blame me. He'll say I drove them too hard. Now, you tell them that's not true, won't you?
Oh, yes, of course. What was that again?
Lennox Brown was like a son to me, you know. Miss Murphin was like a daughter. And so was Lamb. Was I too harsh?
By the way, Sir Gregory, the environment people say, can they open the park again?
They were waiting for Lennox Brown's order. Well, tell them to go ahead. No, we'll keep it closed for another month as a mark of respect. It's what Lennox Brown and Lamb would have wished.
Oh, very good, sir. I'll tell them.
Better write their obituary, I suppose. Yeah. Pipkin!
It's gold here in Regent's Park. I said it's gold here.
I don't want a blasted weather report.
No, gold. Mr. Gold, I work here. 3 people have been seen on the island in the lake with the great bustards nesting.
Vandals, eh? I'll deal with them, Mr. Gold. By thunder, I will.
And 2 of them, I said 2 of them, look quite big and burly.
Oh. Well, on the other hand, this may be a matter for the police. Mustn't take the law into one's own hands.
Well, I'll ring Scotland Yard then. There's something funny going on in that island. I said funny on that island.
Poor Mr. Lamb. He's finally snapped. Has he been sitting there long?
Yeah, he's been there for hours, sir. Dangling his feet in the water and singing the Isle of Capri.
Yes, well, I suppose he's the lucky one. Doesn't know what's going on. He's living in a world of his own, you see.
Well, of course, that's nothing new. He's always been like that. Oh, here he's coming over.
There's a small boy wading across the lake. He's coming towards us.
There, now. When you're desperate, you know, the mind plays funny tricks. I'm afraid no one could wade across there, could they? I mean, those murky depths are unplumbed.
It's true, and look, here he comes.
Blimey, he's right. It is a little boy.
Hey, what you doing on the island, mister? Are you lot opting out?
Good grief. How did you get across here, young man?
Well, waded across, didn't I? Chasing after me ball, see? The wind caught it.
You can't have waded. The water's too deep.
Yeah, well, it's a bit deep over there. Came right up to me waist.
I say, look, there's a motor launch coming.
Well, behind me it's the fuzz. You lot better stop her. Pouncing about in grass skirts, you all get put away.
Now then, you vandals on the island, we know you're there. Wade up to this boat with your hands up, or we'll storm the beaches.
Oh, glory. I think we've been rescued. And now the rest of the news. There were amazing scenes in Regent's Park today when police removed 3 people from an island in the lake. It was thought at first they were teenage hippies having an orgy. But this was disproved after they'd been hosed down. It emerged that 2 of the men were middle-aged and the 3rd man was a girl. All wore grass skirts
and the men donned bowler hats as they left the island because, as one put it, they didn't want to look silly. A ministry spokesman, Sir Gregory Pitkin, acknowledged that the three belonged to his staff, but he denied that they thought themselves marooned while surrounded by 2 feet of water. No civil servant could be that stupid, he said. The trio had volunteered to stay on the island to guard the rare great bustard which has been nesting there.
You're sure you're fully recovered now?
Oh, yes, sir. That week in the sanatorium did us a world of good.
Thanks for the cigars you sent, sir. I ate all mine.
Not at all, my dear chap. When I think of what you went through to guard that great bastard for the nation, I salute you. Seeing you back here safe and sound, I feel as though you're my family.
Thank you, Daddy.
But it beats me how you survived for 6 weeks. I mean, what on earth did you eat?
Well, to start with, we had nothing but cough sweets.
I must say they worked, though. After 2 or 3 days, we were coughing like mad.
But what did you eat after that?
Oh, well, I caught and cooked sort of a wild fowl.
Oh, excuse me, Sir Gregory.
Yes, Wilkins?
The park people rang and, oh dear, they're furious.
Furious?
Yes, 2 of their chaps went across to the island to check on the great bustard.
Ah, yes. All well?
Oh, no, sir. All they found was a heap of feathers and a wishbone. Someone's eaten it.
Eaten it? Eaten the great bustard? Well, who could do such a thing? Just a minute, Lennox Brown. You said you had a wild fowl.
Now, don't jump to conclusions, Sir Gregory.
And the eggs were delicious, sir. We had them scrambled.
What? I'll scramble you when we get my hands on you.
Getting the bird as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma, Ronald Baddiley and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor. Time to meet the men from the ministry. Join us once more on the ministry merry-go-round with Norma, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In a changing world, the Ministry's General Assistance Department offers a bastion of the old virtues. In fact, it offers 2 old bastions, Lennox Brown and Lamb. They bring traditional care and precision to modern projects, such as the development of a new aircraft.
Do you think the wingspan's right one?
I think so, too. It should give optimum lift on takeoff, plus maximum speed in operation. I wonder about the airflow, though.
The test flight should show us if that's right.
Yes, right. Well, open the window, then.
Okay.
Morning, all. Here, you're not making paper darts again.
What? Well, I mean, this may look like a paper dart, Mildred, but in actual fact, it's a
cardboard dart.
Cardboard. Yes. These new file covers, you see, have splendid aerodynamic qualities.
Yes, order some more from stationery, would you? We seem to get through them in no time.
You'll get into trouble chucking them things out the window, like when that traffic warden come up.
Traffic warden?
Well, weren't you here, sir? Oh, he give Mr. Lamb a right telling off. Seems he was patrolling Whitehall, and one of your darts stuck in his ear hole.
Oh, poor fellow. Obviously had no sense of humour.
Funny chap. Some of the words he used were quite new to me.
Well, he had a point, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Sticking in his ear.
Pioneers have always faced criticism, Mildred.
We've been helping the Aerospace Ministry while you've been away. We've been able to offer some useful advice.
You mean they're going to build a giant paper dart for 100 passengers and throw it across the Atlantic?
There's many a true word spoken in jest, Mildred. British industry needs any boost it can get. We're facing a recession.
My dad says that's because the workers are always striking for shorter hours.
Well, we've agreed to meet their demands. We're going to reduce each hour to 55 minutes.
We have to see that the recession doesn't develop into a depression.
Or even a slump.
Yes.
What's the difference between a recession, a depression, and a slump, then?
I'm glad you asked that. A recession is when you have to tighten your belt, you see.
Whereas a depression means that you've no belt to tighten.
And with a slump, you don't need a belt because you haven't any trousers.
And that means the end's in sight.
Oh, I see. I think. How'd you find out about all that stuff?
Well, now, we've been liaisoning with young Whitter Wilkins in the next office.
What he doesn't know about economics would fill an awfully large book.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Here he is now.
We were just telling Mildred about our work for the aerospace industry.
Yeah. What exactly did you have to do?
Oh, lots of things. One job was finding ways to reduce aircraft noise and also save fuel.
We suggested a plane that used no fuel at all, but they turned it down.
Did they say why?
They couldn't get a rubber band big enough.
Still, we came up with a marvellous plan to cut down aircraft noise.
What was that, sir?
Stop the passengers talking to each other.
Our main achievement was selling a new British jet engine to the United States.
Oh.
Yes, it's to power a spacecraft they're launching from Houston in Texas.
Well, I never. After all the trouble with that last rocket we sold them.
Yes, well, there were teething troubles with that one.
I'll say. Wasn't it named the civil servant?
Yes, I believe it was, yes.
Oh, I remember. It was called the civil servant because it wouldn't work, they couldn't fire it, and it cost the taxpayer a fortune.
Well, this engine's different, Mildred. It's been thoroughly tested, and everyone says it's a winner.
Well, that's the end of our aerospace jobs. I think I'll toddle along to my club for an early lunch and a nap.
Is it all right to leave the office empty? What if the permanent under-secretary comes in?
Oh, I shouldn't worry, Mildred. Sir Gregory hasn't been near us for days.
Aha! Lennox Brown and Lamb. Not sneaking out of the office, are you?
Not now, Sir Gregory.
Good. Well, I gather you've wrapped up your aerospace work, so I've found you another little job.
Thank you, Sir Gregory.
Oh, the devil finds work for idle hands, what?
Yes, sir, you always seem to.
What?
You always seem to have our interests at heart.
A job for British Rail this time. They're worried about their trains.
Oh, dear. Are passengers falling off again?
British Rail has massive financial problems, and the chairman wants us to help.
Oh, well, I wish I could, Sir Gregory, but I've only got 10p till payday.
Don't be quiet, Lamb, and let me finish. He wants ideas to economize and to improve the British Rail image.
Do you know, I've often thought, sir, they could improve their image by banning timetables.
Banning timetables? Well, what good would that do?
Well, the trains could be late and no one would know.
Don't be absurd, Lennox Brown. What a stupid idea.
Oh.
What the railways need is a facelift.
A facelift? You mean remove the lines?
Exactly. More lines must go. It's the only way to save money.
So what are we to do, sir?
For one thing, you're to make a survey of the rail network in the Northwest region.
A survey of the rail network in the Northwest region.
Go to every station and see which lines are and which are not economically viable.
Which are and which are not economically viable.
And stop repeating everything I say. You're irritating me.
You're irritating me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Beg your pardon.
There have to be sufficient cuts to save British Rail £150 million.
150 million pounds.
And now another matter. British Rail are to hold a huge exhibition to show the public how the railways are expanding.
Well, won't that cost a lot of money, sir?
They reckon about £150 million.
150 million.
Well, that's why they need to cut their services. These people aren't fools, you know.
Well, if you say so, sir.
You may be called on to help with the exhibition, but first, you're to make this survey in the Northwest. My secretary will send details of your itinerary.
Thank you, sir.
I want you on your way as soon as possible, but if possible, sooner.
Here we are, Mr. Lennox Brown. Sir Gregory sent us the details of your itinerary. Where you got to go?
Yes, thank you very much, Mildred.
Is it very complicated?
Well, there's a tricky bit here. After you've been round Cheshire, you go to Stockport by train.
Yes.
Then you have to go cross-country to Longhampton.
Cross-country? You mean running?
No. It says here you take a red bus from Stockport to Nether Stropping. Then at the Market Square you change to a green bus which takes you to Longhampton.
Isn't there a railway through Nether Stropping?
Well, there was, but it seems it was axed 10 years ago. So you've got a 20-minute wait in the Market Square for the Longhampton bus.
Some 20 minutes this turned out to be. According to my watch, we've been here nearly 2 hours.
Yes, and it would have to be raining. Still, I suppose it's good to get away from the office.
This is a new Macintosh. I wouldn't have worn it if I'd known there was rain about.
Listen, think of the useful job we're doing.
Oh.
3 branch lines already marked for the axe. I'm also going to suggest we close up John St. Mavis. And if it's a success, we'll close all the neighbouring stations.
That'll really put this area on its feet. Why are these buses so infrequent?
Oh, it's always the way, too. What this part of the world needs is a decent train service.
Quite right.
Even so, this is no time to start doing your train imitations.
That wasn't me one.
Huh?
That was a train. Listen.
Good grief, you're right. It is a train. Yes, look, over there.
That's odd. Mildred said this line was closed down years ago, and judging from all that steam, it must be an old-fashioned puffer.
Either that or the driver's a very heavy smoker. That must be the old station over there. Yes, come on, two. We'd better go and see what's going on.
I say, what a funny little station.
Well, it's certainly not closed, is it? I mean, look, there's a budgies cage in the booking office. And flowers in the fire buckets.
Yo-ho, anyone in?
Afternoon, gents. What can I do for you? I'm the station master here. Pullman's the name.
We're from Whitehall, Mr. Pullman.
Oh, dear, you both look wet.
We wish to know why that steam engine's standing out there.
Well, it'd look pretty daft in here, wouldn't it?
That is not the point, Mr. Pullman. This station should be closed.
Oh, it isn't 6:30 yet, is it?
Mr. Pullman, this station and branch line were axed 10 years ago and the staff were made redundant. There's a strange enigma here.
Oh, you don't worry, sir. That's the wife. I'll call her over. Emily, come and meet the pretty gentleman from London.
All right, I'm coming.
You'll have to excuse her, sir. She's not been the same since she was decimalised. Oh, here she comes. This is Emily, sir. She runs the refreshment room.
I'm pleased to meet you. And this is our son, Seth.
How do?
He runs around.
Yes, well, we were saying, madam, that we thought you were redundant.
Me? At my age? Don't be so daft. It's just the way me coat hangs.
No, your service was terminated years ago.
No, sir. We only wanted the one young Seth here.
How do?
He's a good lad, but not very bright. We put him down for the civil service.
How do?
Of course, he can be a problem.
Orders were given to close down this railway. Now, why weren't they carried out?
Well, sir, we kept it going like as a family concern.
You kept it going, but you're not allowed to run a private railway. It's flouting government instructions.
And flaunting contempt for the law.
Oh, we didn't mean to float and float, sir. No, we kept it going as a service for all the local computers. They got compute to Longhampton every day.
Hey, so if it weren't for us, Longhampton would be cut off. Think of the grief that'd cause.
We can't let the public down, sir.
The public? Well, what have they got to do with it?
This line was closed because it was losing money.
Oh, well, it ain't now, sir. We're the only railway in the country making a profit. Ask anyone. Ask Seth.
How do?
Well, no, don't ask Seth, but ask anyone else. We are making money. It's all in the family, see? I takes the tickets and drives the engine. Uncle Ebenezer, he does the points and the maintenance. We keep the fares nice and cheap.
Cheap fares? This is monstrous.
Our trains run in time.
It's unthinkable.
And we're making a nice little pile.
I've heard enough. You can't run the railway and make a profit. No. We can't allow it.
We won't allow it. We're closing this station for good.
Absolutely. You're misusing government property. That engine out there belongs to British Rail. Now you must return it to them at once.
If you take away our engine, we're entitled to condensation.
Quite right, Emily.
Now, don't argue, Mr. Pullman. You're the driver. Get out there and start that engine.
We'd better go with him and see that he does.
We certainly shall. We shall ride with you, Mr. Pullman, while you take that engine to the British Rail station at Milchester. There you will hand it over to the authorities.
Oh, well, I'll have to do as they say, Emily.
Well, we had a good run for our money, I suppose.
I'll be back as soon as I can. Look after your mother, Seth.
How do? Oh, glorious. Come on, let's get out of here and get that engine moving.
There you are. She started up. Lovely head of steam, that.
She certainly seems to be going all right.
Yes, and I'll be doing the same. You're on your own now, you pair of pinstripe banana.
Grief, he's jumped off. Come back here at once, you...
Oh, he isn't going to one. He's left us alone here on purpose. He thinks we can't drive the engine. He thinks we're going to crash.
Oh, don't panic, too. What are you thinking of?
I think he's right.
No, nonsense. I'm quite capable of driving a train. I wanted to be an engine driver, you know, when I was a lad.
It all looks so complicated.
No, not at all. No, it's just like driving a car. This is only a branch line, so there'll be no other traffic about. And it can't be more than, 10 miles to Milchester? I'll drive you with the fireman.
Right.
Yes, I think I might enjoy this, you know. Oh! By Jove, do I have had such fun for years. Speeding along with the wind in our bowler hats, watching the telegraph poles whiz by. What could be more pleasant, eh?
All right for you, one. It's not much fun for me, heaving coal about in my vest.
Oh, we'll use a shovel instead. Now, come on. Let's have another go on the whistle.
One, you said Milchester was only 10 miles, but we've been travelling at least 2 hours.
Ah, yes. Well, I mean, that's because rail travel is very deceptive, too.
We're doing 70 miles an hour.
Really? How do you know?
It says so on that dial.
Good Lord, I thought that was the clock. I wondered why it was stuck at 20 to 8.
Could you slow down a bit?
Well, I could slow down if I wanted to, I suppose, but I mean, we're perfectly safe on this branch line.
I'm not sure we're still on the branch line.
Of course we are. I mean, what makes you say that?
That notice over there. Caution, main line, London to Glasgow.
What? It can't be the main line. There'd be other trains about.
Oh, that could have been another train run, but it went by so fast I couldn't really see.
Yes. Well, we may have missed our way.
Do you know how to stop this thing?
Of course I know how to stop. Yes, I'll pull this red lever. That'll bring us to a halt in no time.
Oh, we're going even faster.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll try these levers then.
It's no good. We're out of control.
But do something, too. Don't just stand there bottling. Do something.
And here is the news, read by Brian Martin. There's been chaos on British Rail today with an unidentified steam engine running loose on the mainline network. An eyewitness account has been given by the first man to see the engine, the driver of the Glasgow to London Express, 25-year-old, white-haired Albert Craig. He saw the engine travelling head-on towards him near Crewe, but was able to avoid a collision by reversing his train at high speed all the way back to Glasgow. Trains from London to Scotland are now being rerouted via Penzance. Some delays are expected. Later, the runaway engine was seen in places as far apart as Middlesbrough, Bath, Ramsgate, and the Bakerloo Underground. The two men on the footplate are said to be wild-eyed and waving their arms about. It's thought they're middle-aged dropouts making a protest. And here's some late news. The rogue engine is now said to have left the rails near Barnsley and to be heading south down the M1.
Oh, you seem angry, Sir Gregory.
I am not just angry, Lennox Brown. I am absolutely beside myself.
We can only apologize to both of you, sir.
Oh, be quiet, lad. I send you to carry out a simple survey and you end up driving a steam locomotive down the M1, leaving it on the hard shoulder outside a service station. Why, in heaven's name, why?
We wanted to pop in for a cup of tea.
You're a pair of irresponsible, useless, half-witted, silly bunglers. I had to save this department's reputation by saying the whole thing was a publicity stunt for the Euston Rail exhibition.
Oh, that was very astute of you, sir, yes.
Were British Rail pleased?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they were. As part of the festivities, they're running a special train from Euston to Darlington, where steam trains started. The British Rail chairman has decided your engine should pull it.
Oh, I say, so it's all worked out rather well.
No thanks to you two. However, you can make amends by arranging for that locomotive to be sent to Euston immediately.
It shall be done, sir. Yes.
When does this Darlington run take place?
Oh, Tuesday afternoon. It's a very big affair. All the top people will be there. The PM, Minister of Transport, and I shall be there, of course.
Of course, sir, yes.
Yes, I shall be making my usual contribution to these occasions.
Not while the train's standing at the station, I hope. I said it should be a grand scene at the station.
Indeed, yes. It'll be a very big day for British Rail.
Yes, well, won't the journey take rather a long time, sir, with just a steam locomotive?
The longer the better. There's plenty of food and drink on board.
Oh.
Now, have that thing transported to them at once. Get it?
Got it.
Good.
My word, too. I believe we've got away with it.
When he came in, I thought he was going to strangle us. I haven't seen such a cross face since Auntie Flo caught her chest in the mangle.
Well, you better not make any more mistakes or you'll murder us. There's nothing we've overlooked, is there?
I don't think so. I see from my diary that the American aerospace people are due to ring us today to confirm they've received that jet thing we sent them.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. I'll feel easier in my mind when I've heard from them.
Them phone operators are half daft. One of them rang just now and said it's a long distance from America.
A long distance from America?
Yeah, I just said I know that and hung up.
You hung up, you silly... That was the American Aerospace Agency. We're waiting for their call, Mildred. Waiting.
That'll be them trying again.
Yes, well, go back to your office, Mildred. Go on, go back and put the call... Listen, put the call through to me.
All right. Don't get your pinstripes in a twist.
Oh, I say, isn't nature wonderful? To think that we can talk direct to someone in the United States.
Yeah.
You're through now, sir.
Thank you, Mildred. Thank you. Yes. Hello? Lennox Brown speaking. Can you hear me? Do you speak English?
This is Dwight J. White here in Houston, Texas. I am contacting you telephonically to ascertain the as-of-now whereabouts of the jet engine we ordered.
Jet engine, Mr. J. White? You mean it hasn't arrived?
Negative. No, not. I have instigated thorough inquiries, and we are now cognizant of the fact that it is still at the factory.
The jet engine's still at the factory?
Affirmative. I am informatized that dispatch was inoperative due to your failure to activate a clearance note.
A clearance note?
I'd be obligated if you would precipitate a clearance note and achieve an in-transit situation for this engine forthwith.
By Jove, this fellow doesn't speak English. And he's rung off. Yeah. 2, that jet engine's still at the factory. Now, get Mildred to issue a clearance note and dispatch the thing at once.
Now, go and tell her right away. And while she's at it, she can get that old steam locomotive sent to Euston.
Well, Sir Gregory, you do look smart in that morning suit.
Oh, thank you. One tries to dress for the occasion, you know.
I've never seen anything like it.
You do look extremely sartorial.
Good. And you don't see anything ridiculous in my top hat?
Only your head. I said, very go ahead, sir.
Ah.
Yes.
Well, this Darlington trip is a great event, and so is the whole exhibition.
Well, we thought we might go down there this afternoon.
Oh, by all means. Still you are in the circumstances. You can leave the office 10 minutes early.
Oh, now that's very generous of you, Sir Gregory. Thank you.
Well, I'm in a good mood today.
Yes, sir.
I shall enjoy this trip, you know, return to the gracious days of steam travel. A leisurely ride through the English countryside with plenty of good food and wine.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this exhibition, too. Yes, I was always something of a railway buff.
Really?
Yes, I've collected platform tickets for years, you know.
Platform tickets have gone up in price, haven't they?
Oh, yes, but you can still get your money's worth. There's a longer wait between trains. Hello, Lennox Brown.
Hello, this is Mr. Clouston at Euston. I'm the exhibition organizer.
Oh, hello, Mr. Clouston. Yes, everything going smoothly?
Well, the exhibition's doing very well, but I'm a bit concerned about this afternoon's trip to Darlington. I'm afraid I have qualms.
Oh, you can get tablets for that, you know. Travel sickness pills, you'll be all right.
No. It's this engine you sent us to pull the train. Are you sure it's right for the purpose?
Oh, yes. It may seem a little unorthodox, but I mean, that's part of the attraction, isn't it? You know, it was a very high-level decision.
Oh, well, then I suppose we must accept it. We are having to adapt the engine.
That is the engine to use, Mr. Clouston.
What was that about?
Oh, some chap at Euston fussing about using the old steam engine. They're used to diesel, of course. I had to be firm, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think an early lunch is called for. And I can have a little nap this afternoon before we go down to Euston.
Sorry I'm late back from lunch, sir, but there was a bit of trouble in the canteen. Mr. Wilkins upset that new manageress.
Oh, really, Mildred?
Yeah, he said he didn't like the look of her dumplings.
What did she say?
She said she didn't like his sauce. Here, I wondered if I could have the afternoon off, sir. It's me mum's birthday today, and I want to buy her some toast.
Oh, that'll be a surprise for her.
Yeah, she's expecting a tea service.
Yes, well, if your work is up to date, Mildred, I think we could just stretch a point there.
Oh, everything's in hand, sir. They confirmed that jet engine was delivered to Euston.
Good. Well, then, if you could... Jet engine? Houston?
Mildred, I told you to send it to Houston.
Well, Houston. What's the difference?
About 4,000 miles. Houston's in Texas.
Good grief. They used that jet on the Darlington train. No wonder they've had to adapt it. It's intended for a space rocket.
And they'll think we told them to use it on the train. What are we going to do?
Well, we're going down to Houston and stop them. That's what we're going to do. I mean, the train's due to leave in 10 minutes.
Yes.
The whole thing's on TV.
Well, viewers, as you've probably gathered, this is Forth Robinson here, and I'm at Euston Station for the Great British Rail Exhibition. Today's highlight will be the departure of a rather special train from London to Darlington. But while the Prime Minister and the other VIPs are boarding it, let's look at some other attractions. In the buffet, there's a display of 19th century buns and rock cakes, as indeed there is every day. And in the travel centre, there's a collection of railway art, including several studies of British rail porters in the still life section. And beside me here, you can see one of British Rail's new posters. It's urging Southern Region commuters not to pick flowers off the hedges while the train is in motion. And now I see the Darlington train is ready to leave. Everyone's safely aboard and the guard raises his flag. But what's this? Two bowler-hearted men are running across the platform, shouting, and they've vaulted the barrier, and now one's being chased by the railway police. And they've grabbed him by the buffers. And the other's climbed on the roof of the train and seems to be shouting, the engine, but the guard has waved his flag and the train's about to leave. It's already left. One could almost say it shot off like a rocket.
More dramatic news from British Rail. A special train today covered the 230 miles from London to Darlington in under 4 minutes. And this feat was achieved without actually touching the rails. Passengers, however, complained of a lack of comfort, having been drenched in mushroom soup and hurled into the luggage rack. On arriving in Darlington, top civil servant Sir Gregory Pitkin was rushed to hospital red-eyed and shaking. He was said to be suffering from rail lag. A junior Whitehall executive, Richard Lamb, was later found suspended in a mailbag catcher outside Doncaster. He had a label round his neck reading second-class mail and said he couldn't think how he got into this mesh.
Poor Sir Gregory. You say he has to have an operation?
Yes, they're trying to remove a British Rail fork from his left nostril.
When he gets back, he'll tear us limb from limb.
Not necessarily, Mildred. The idea's got round that giving that train a jet engine was a government experiment.
Will they keep the idea?
No, they've decided that having British Rail trains move quickly would be too much of a shock to the public.
So everything's back to normal.
Oh, except that American chap rang while you was out. He's a bit worried about that engine we sent him.
Oh, glory. He got the steam engine.
The new American space rocket will be going puff, puff, puff all the way to the moon.
And where will they get the coal to make the journey back?
He's done it again.
All steamed up as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.